has she fitted that in there? Look at them both. They're well happy about it, but there's just no way you can fit a sofa that size through a door like that. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United versus Chelsea coming up. And look, who's going to get top four? Where would Jadon Sancho go in a combined 11? Maybe we're doing that next season, because both of these teams, apparently after Sancho, definitely goes into the right wing, but he's not here at the moment. So we're going to do a combined 11. And I think this is very interesting. I don't always do combined 11s because, to be honest, with United against the top six, we struggle normally. But Chelsea have lost 8 games. They hold on to that 4th spot at the moment. Will they hold on to it at the end of the season? What's the difference between the two teams? Is it that big? So we're going to go through that. And I think it's going to be very interesting. I'm sure we'll get some Chelsea fans, maybe some rival fans. But I'm happy with the 11 I've got. And I'm going to go through each one of them and I will argue each one. You get yours in below as per usual. But let's start off. And the goalkeeping situation is going to be interesting. But to me, it's De Gea. It's De Gea. I don't understand why Spain picked Kepa over De Gea. He's a Poundland De Gea. He's awful. Every time I watch Kepa, and I've been watching him for over a year now at Chelsea, and I don't watch Chelsea loads, but I've watched a few Chelsea games. Every time I watch Kepa, he's got a mistake in him. And look, De Gea's not been great for the last 18 months. But he's a better goalkeeper. I'll argue this with anybody. There is no question about it that De Gea goes in over Kepa. And to be honest with you, apart from, blind loyalty, which I expect from fans of their own club, I think Chelsea fans know this as well. Kepa ain't up to the task as far as I'm concerned. Wan-Bissaka at right back. Chelsea, Reece James is a very good right back, but Wan-Bissaka's better. And Wan-Bissaka, Titanium, whatever the nicknames are, Spider-Wan, whatever. Defensively, best right back in the league, without question. Offensively, there are a few better. We can all list them off. But defensively, the best right back in the league. And I think Reece James going forward, very, very good. But you want your right back to be able to defend. Because if you don't concede goals, you've got a platform to go and win games. And I think this gets lost because this is modern football. It's all about, look at the amount of assists that Trent's got. And it's great. But it's what you do defensively first as a right back that stands out to me. And Wan-Bissaka has no peer. He is the best defensive right back in the league and he can improve going forward. So for me, 100%, we're going to go with Wan-Bissaka on that one. Now, defensively, I'll see if I can find the player that I want to put in here. What is his name? Yeah, there he is. Rudiger, right-sided centre-back. We're going to go... you'll see what formation we're going to go with, but... Lindelof over Rudiger, no. Rudiger, is he the best centre-back Chelsea have got? I think he is. I watched him play in a game recently where he scored a couple of goals. I can't remember who it was against, actually. Was it Arsenal? They should have won that game. But defensively, he's very good, very strong, very good in the air, offensively and defensively. And, we've got a centre-back that we bought to be good like that. And I don't think Maguire's had the season that he could have had in that area. But Rudiger, since he's been back from his injury, has made a big difference to Chelsea's back line. And you could argue that he's the best centre-back out of both clubs, actually. I rate him. And I know a lot of people, that's a little bit unfashionable to do that. But I do rate Rudiger. And I think that he is a player of quality that deserves his spot in the team. Would be no surprise as to who I'm going to put in next to him. If I can find him. There he is. Harry Maguire. Look, maybe there's slim pickings, but as the left-sided centre-back, Harry Maguire, especially over the last couple of months for Manchester United, he has improved. He was never that bad anyway. I just think Wan-Bissaka, in comparison, as a new signing for United, has been ridiculously consistent. Harry Maguire was never bad, but he was never brilliant in the first few months. He was always sort of like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. I think in the last month or so, we've seen more 8 out of 10 performances, and he is becoming more settled. To be honest with you, I think Maguire and Rudiger would be a very, very good defensive partnership because Rudiger is quicker. And we were talking about this on the United Stand last night, partnerships. I don't think Maguire and Lindelof as a partnership is that great unless you shield it with 2 CDMs because of their lack of pace. But I think a Maguire and a Rudiger would allow you to play one holding centre midfielder, which is what I'm going to go with in this team as well. So for me, Maguire walks in. I am a fan of Tomori. I do like Tomori. He's the other Chelsea centre-back that I sort of considered. But at this moment in time, it has to be Maguire as far as I'm concerned. And then the left-back spot's going to be very interesting. I've gone with Brandon Williams. Now, Chelsea fans are going to hate this. They're going to say, well, you've got to play Azpilicueta. But look, Azpilicueta's decent, but I prefer Azpilicueta as a right-back, to be honest with you. And he ain't getting in ahead of Wan-Bissaka. Brandon Williams... Chelsea fans won't have this. They're going to be like, you're mad, you're stupid, I'd rather have Alonso and all this. But I'm going to go with Brandon Williams because I've watched Brandon Williams play, and he's got a lot more to give, but he very rarely puts a foot wrong. And you've got to go with potential. Of course, sometimes you have got to go with that. But performances on the pitch. I mean, how many games on a pitch does he have to get before people go, oh yeah, he should be in the combined left position at left back? For me and many Man United fans, they would include him because going forward he's good. Defensively he's been very good. He's been ridiculously consistent, and I'm going to go Brandon Williams. Chelsea fans will go something different, I accept that, but for me, I'm going to go Brandon Williams. Kante comes into the CDM role. Now, I was going to go... What I will say about this is, because Chelsea fans will be a little concerned that they're losing 4-2 here, but you have lost a lot of games, and you are ahead of us in the league, but without question, I think Chelsea this season should take it on a pat on the back that you're overachieving a little bit, and Manchester United are underachieving. Chelsea at the start of the season, when I did my prediction on That's Football, I said Chelsea, I can see them coming 6th. They've lost Hazard, they've got a new manager, they've had a transfer ban. 6th. Well, you're in 4th, so you are overachieving. And I know Chelsea fans are greedy, and all clubs should have fans that are greedy. I've got no problem with that at all. But you are slightly overachieving. I think now you're in that position of 4th. If you lose it, you'll be frustrated. But I think you're overachieving a little bit. United are underachieving. So to me, I think United probably should have more players in than Chelsea. And Chelsea, if they do end up with more, shows that they have overachieved this season. If I was going to do 2 holding midfielders, I would go Kante and Jorginho. I think that they complement each other very, very well. Jorginho is the dictator of the play. Kante is the go-getter who can carry the ball as well. But I don't want to play 2 holding midfielders. And it's funny, isn't it? Because Solskjaer plays 2 holding midfielders, and none of his holding midfielders would get in ahead of Kante and Jorginho for me. But I'm only going to play 1, so it's Kante. I mean, you could go Jorginho as the sort of Carrick player to sort of dictate the play. But for me, Kante is exactly the sort of midfielder that United need to just break up that play and be energetic. So I've gone Kante because I'm only going to play 1 holding midfielder. Now, this one will probably be controversial, but I'm putting Bruno Fernandes in there. Oh, he's only played 1 game. What you want about? What you want about? He's only played 1 game. It's got to be Bartley or Loftus-Cheek or Mason Mount. Well, it's not. It's going to be... That was a terrible Chelsea London accent, and I probably sound more like a West Ham fan. But I'm going Bruno Fernandes because... Potential's important, but I know what Bruno Fernandes is, and I think Bruno Fernandes is way better than Mason Mount. So Bruno Fernandes goes in there for me. Chelsea fans argue whoever you like, but I'll be proved right on this. I mean, to be honest, if Ziyech actually had been bought by Chelsea in January, I'd put Ziyech in, but you're not getting him till the summer, so he's not going in. But Bruno Fernandes goes in for me, especially in this midfield that I'm going to build here. I think that Chelsea's midfield has been part of their problem this season. I don't think it's got hold of enough games. I think Kante and Jorginho are good players, but I think they've lacked the creativity, and they have probably missed the Loftus-Cheek. And I don't think Mason Mount's as consistent as he could be as a young player. That's to be expected. I'm not a big fan of Barkley. I do like Kovacic. I really like Kovacic. But I think Kovacic has dropped off a little bit recently as well. So to me, Kovacic was the one that was pushing the most, because I thought up until around Christmas time, Kovacic was having a great season. But look, I'm going to put Bruno in there because I want Kante to run that midfield, and I want my 2 midfielders to have the licence to get forward and attack. So for me, it definitely will be him. And then Paul Pogba plays to the left-hand side, because this is going back to sort of what United did under Ollie in the first 3 months. That 1 holding midfielder, the other 2 sort of box-to-box with a licence to attack a little bit more. So I'm very happy with that midfield 3. Pogba hasn't played a lot this season, but we're talking about when everybody's fit, what's the team that you can pick. So that's what I would go with. So it's not looking good for Chelsea at the moment, with all due respect. And I'm going to make it a little bit worse, because I'm going to put Marcus Rashford in there. Left-hand side, Marcus Rashford. I mean, what have Chelsea got to offer, really? Willian, Pedro? I'm not having that. I think Marcus Rashford, when fit, has been one of the best players in Europe this season. So, yes, I'm going to put Marcus Rashford on there. And that's a worrying sign for Chelsea, isn't it? Because we have got now 7 players to their 2. And yet, I must remind myself that Chelsea are having a better season than us. They're higher up the league than us. But this only reflects what I say. Lampard has brought a style of play to Chelsea. He has brought a vision to Chelsea. He has brought a philosophy, which is pretty much the same thing. And he's done it with no transfers, no Hazard, and a young squad. If United were where Chelsea was, I think we'd be absolutely over the moon. Because we'd be like, he's not even had any money to spend yet. He's done all this. And yeah, we've lost 8 games, but we're going to be inconsistent. On United's side, Look, how many players are there on my left? Oh, hello. There's loads. But we're doing terrible. And this is what I mean. All right, we do need to sign players, but we've not done enough with what we've got. Because I still, without bias, and you know me, I can do combined 11s with Liverpool and we've got no one. I can do combined 11s with Man City, we've hardly got anybody. I can do combined 11s with Leicester and we won't have hardly any. But with Chelsea, I think that we're a lot closer than people think. They've opened the door to us a few times this season. But individually, I think we have got more better players than Chelsea. But as a team, they're performing far better because they're coached better. And that's what it's about. So if Chelsea fans are moaning, take it as a pat on the back. You are doing better than us because you've got a better vision, a better team, a better philosophy, a better better coaching staff in many ways. So Rashford walks in, no question about that. I can't see why anybody would say anything different. But on the right hand side, and I know he can play off the left, Pulisic walks in as well. Not Dan James. I'm not putting Martial on the right. I'm not putting Rashford on the right. They never play there. We play Dan James or Mata or Pereira off the right, and none of them are anywhere near good enough to get in ahead of Pulisic. I like Hudson-Odoi. I think he's a good player. I think Willian, on his day, can be a very good player, although I've never been a real major fan. But Pulisic is a player that when Chelsea brought him in the summer, or signed him a year ago, wasn't it? I thought, that's a player that United really should have been looking at. And I think there is a big list of players that I do wonder why United weren't looking at. Ziyech now, Pulisic a year ago, Van Dijk, Mane, Firmino. There's lots of Fabinho. There's lots of players that I think were obviously going to be decent signings that United didn't look at. And hopefully we can do that more in the future. But Pulisic or whatever it is, or Pulisic because he's American, he gets in the team, definitely, on that right-hand side. And I think he's better off the left, but he can play off the right. And I would accommodate him into that team. And I think he's had a good season. Took him a bit of time to settle in, has been injured recently, but when, before the injury, he was doing really, really well. Pulisic gets in there. And then that brings us to probably the one that you've been waiting for the most. And for me, it was very, very easy. But I think for some people, you could argue it. But for me, it's Tammy Abraham. And that might surprise it. And it redresses the balance a little bit more to Chelsea because it's 4-7. And Chelsea fans might say, well, Williams is a joke. So actually it's 5-6, which is about an even split. But Tammy Abraham over Anthony Martial, it was a little bit closer than I thought, but I never really seriously went with Martial because Tammy Abraham, you've got to look at what he's done over the season, and he's dried up a little bit, but I think he's had a better season than Martial in that number 9 spot, and I think he gives more physicality and height, definitely, to that number 9 spot that I would go Tammy Abraham over Martial. I don't think Tammy Abraham's a better player than Martial, and it pains me not to find a spot for Martial, but Martial has sort of sacrificed himself this season. I think I agree over the last couple of weeks he's not been good, but I think over the season he's been very good. His work rate, what he's doing off the ball, his hold-up play, excellent. But because of that, he's sacrificed his best position potentially, which is the left-hand side, which is what Rashford's taken off him. So Martial or Abraham, at the moment, it's got to be Abraham, but Martial needs to take that as a challenge because Martial next season could easily be ahead of Abraham, and I think he's shown signs that he can do that, but at the moment, I would go Tammy Abraham. And even though Tammy Abraham recently has dropped off a little bit, that again is to be expected. He's a young lad. It's his first full season in the Premier League, and I think Chelsea players like that at the moment. So that is my combined 11. Smash a like on the video and give us your thoughts. Chelsea fans won't be happy. I'll admit, if we're playing a 4-2-3-1, you take Bruno or Pogba out and you put Jorginho in there, so that would give you another player. Azpilicueta for Williams, look, Chelsea fans are going to do that. That would give you another player. But other than that, you're not having Wan-Bissaka out, you're not getting Maguire out, you're not getting either Bruno or Pogba out, and you're not getting Rashford out. And don't even come at me with Kepa. I mean, he's such a bad goalkeeper, he can't even spell it right. It's got 2 E's, not Kepa. He's awful. He's dreadful. It's De Gea in goal. Thanks everyone for watching. We're live again tonight at 8:30, so make sure you join me for that Thursday night live. We might do a preview tonight. I don't know when I'm going to do the preview, but I'm sure there'll be lots to talk about. Smash a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll speak to you soon.